Hey guys, so I'm here today in my teddy bear sweater to film the Best of Beauty 2020. I don't think it's going to be that long of a video because I spent all of 2020 inside and only wore makeup to film, if I'm being honest. But regardless, we're going to go through the things I did like this year. These aren't things that came out in 2020. They're things that I enjoyed in 2020. I didn't buy a whole lot of makeup this year, so some of it I probably bought this year, but a lot of it is just like stuff I used this year. So subscribe to my channel up every Tuesday and Thursday, and let's get into it. Okay, I have no primers in this video this year, probably because I didn't care if my makeup lasted at all because I wasn't going anywhere. But something primer-esque I've been loving is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow. Literally, can you see how the words are completely rubbed off on here? This is in the shade 1 Fair. And I've been loving this for under my makeup. I don't love it so much for on top of my makeup. It's a little bit too subtle for me for like a highlight, but I really like it for under the makeup. I don't know what it is. Like, there's no shimmer or glitter particles in here. It just gives you the most beautiful glow. I will say that this is, first of all, expensive as fuck. And second of all, it's like I don't want to call it a drier formula, but it definitely is a drier formula. Like, I find that this is best applied with a foundation brush, like just like a dense kabuki brush, just to apply it all over my face more easily, or else I really have to like rub and pull to kind of get it to melt into my skin, and I don't love that. So I just use a foundation brush because I don't use them for anything else anyways. And I really like that. I think it gives you like that nice like lit from within look. And quite honestly, I haven't really been wearing foundation a lot this year. Like, if I'm just running errands, I'm not putting foundation on because you can only see this half of my face and I can hide that with concealer. So I've been kind of applying this all over as like my glow, and then just doing concealer and like brows and eyes and like going out the door because, like, again, you can't see this half of my face. So like, why am I gonna waste makeup down there? But when I did wear foundation, like the only foundation I reached for this year, it hurts because it's so expensive. This is the McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I'm in the shade L6, which I do think is a smidge dark for me, but it has the right undertone, so I just kind of go with it. It's a really thin, liquidy foundation. I put the smallest amount on today, and I just feel like it looks dewy and glowy. I know a lot of people, like, you can get full coverage with this if you really build it up, but like, it's just like, that's not my vibe anymore. Who am I? The pandemic has changed me as a human. I just like haven't been wearing full coverage foundations anymore. It's just been like literally either no foundation or I'm wearing this, but I'm wearing like a super sheer amount. Like today, you can probably see like all my discoloration around my jawline because like I just don't care anymore. This half of my face doesn't exist. But yeah, I do love this. Again, it's super lightweight. It's super like, it like gives you coverage, but it's like glowy and dewy and just looks like skin. It's magical. Now for concealer, I did love the McGrath concealers. However, I don't have a perfect shade in that. And I love this other concealer just as much, and it's a fraction of the price. This is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Hydrating Camo Concealer. I definitely think this is a comparable dupe to the McGrath concealer, and the McGrath concealer is expensive as fuck, and this is probably like $6 or $8. I have the shade Light Ivory and Fair Rose. Fair Rose is too light for me, but it's a little more pink tone, so I like to like kind of pop this in like the deepest of my hollows. And as you can see, I've used actually you probably can't see because I used it today and it kind of moved it around, but I've used tons of this. Again, it's just like a really nice creamy concealer. It has like a skin-like dewy finish to it. It has a decent coverage, like I would call it like a medium buildable coverage, and I totally love it. I definitely recommend picking this up if you like the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, if you like the McGrath Concealer. It's definitely not as full coverage as the Tarte Shape Tape, but it's also more luminous than the Tarte Shape Tape, so we stan. Okay, for bronzer, I have 3 things. Who am I? Okay, first things first, I have to talk about the Milk Makeup Cream Stick Bronzer. I don't even know what this is called because I just have the mini size. But like, will I ever need more than the mini size? I mean, I actually might. Although like, I have used this non-stop all year and I still have this much product in it. The mini size is only like $20, probably way cheaper in the States. I like the size of this because it just fits in like the hollows of your cheeks so much better. Because like the big one is like this big. No, thank you. It's just a beautiful warm tone bronzer shade, but it's not too warm. Like, I'm pretty fair and cool toned, and I find this works beautifully on my skin. Like, just look at that. It blends out so nice. It has like this sheen to it that looks so natural. Like, when I do no makeup, I just kind of literally, like for Zoom meetings, I put on concealer, I put on this, I put on my brows and my lashes, and I look alive. I love this. I wore this all summer. It's like your perfect, like, bronzy glow. It's amazing. I will say they only have one shade of this, so if you're anything more than like a medium skin tone, this will not work for you. So I do think that Milk Makeup needs to up their fucking game and add more shades, but if you are around my skin tone, this is amazing. It also smells kind of like Play-Doh. Like, not in a good way, but I'll deal with it. The other cream product I loved this year was the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. Now, this is a much darker color. I'm trying to get some out here so you can see. This is a much darker. Now, it has like an on and off kind of twist, so you could stop it too much from coming out. And I will say, you do not get a lot of product in this. Like, it already feels empty, and I just bought it earlier this year. And she is dark. This is the shade Fair to Medium. However, I will say it like blends into nothing so easily. Like, look at just like the tone of that is so beautiful. I definitely wouldn't really call this a contour for me personally. I think if you have like more warmer olive skin tone, this would be a contour for you, but it's definitely just like more neutral for me. It's what I'm wearing today as like my bronzer. Like, I kind of use it more of like a more neutral toned bronzer, like if I want a bronzer that's not too warm. But I love it. And just like I can't describe the way this blends to you. Like, it blends like a fucking dream. It's so beautiful. It blends with ease. It looks beautiful and natural and glowy. And I just, like, can you see how pretty that color is? Like, it's definitely way cooler than this, but like for me, like the Fenty Beauty Amber Matchstick is like my cool toned contour, but this is like more of like a neutral tone contour, but I still love it. And speaking of gorgeous tones, I bought this bronzer, I think in the spring sale, and I haven't used another bronzer since. This is the Marc Jacobs Tan-Tastic Omega Bronze Coconut Perfect Tan. And just the tone of this, like, I literally did like a first impressions on all my Sephora purchases when I had this, and someone replied and was like, I don't get what's so special about that bronzer. And I was like, you must not be my skin tone, because it's the tone. It's not warm, it's not cool, it's not ready. It's just like your perfect, why did I swatch it here? It's your perfect like neutrally bronze color. It's just so gorgeous. I can't explain it. It's expensive, but like you also get so much product in here. And I do find that it's like pressed hard enough that like you don't have, like my Fenty Beauty one is like pressed so hard that I have to like really dig in there. Whereas this one I feel like is pressed a lot lighter so that like it's still sheer and I can build it up, but like it's not super hard to get coverage. Last two face products are gonna be highlighters. I have to talk about Colourpop Flexitarian. I don't know if I talked about this last year or at all this year, but this is my all-time favorite holy grail highlighter. If you don't have this, you need it. It's just the most beautiful highlighter ever. I love it. I like to use this kind of like as a highlighter base. It makes every highlighter on top of it pop. And it also, because it's a little bit, has like that kind of like whitey silver shift to it. I find that it helps to tone down any highlighters that are too warm on my skin tone and kind of pull them more neutral and cool tone, which works better for me. So we love this. I have some other Colourpop highlighters that I don't like so much because they're more of a glittery finish. This is a pearlized finish, so if you are going to get a Colourpop highlighter, I recommend the pearlized finishes or just like Flexitarian in general. It's flawless. And then on top of that, in the first half of the year, I still loved my Fenty Beauty Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, but I mentioned it last year. And then when I dyed my hair orange, I wanted more neutral toned highlighters. I found that a lot of my highlighters were pink toned and like I was wearing a lot of more like warm eye looks. So I wanted something not so much warm because I hate warm highlighters, but again, something more neutral. And I definitely think that this Milani highlighter is underrated. This is the Milani Afterglow highlighter in #1. I have to give a shout out to Amanda, my best friend, because she's the one that told me to buy this and she was 100% right. It is such a beautiful highlighter. It has a, I don't even want to call it pink. It's almost like champagne. I swatched it kind of in the middle here. It's definitely more of like a champagne color. It has a maybe a smidge of pinkness to it, but it's more of like your neutral champagne highlighter. I think this is good for anyone who is obviously my skin tone. But even like going into like medium, you could probably wear this, but they definitely have other shades. It's just so beautiful. Milani's highlighters are gorgeous. Like I'm wearing it today with Flexitarian underneath it, and like, can we talk about that? Can we talk about it? It's so beautiful. I absolutely live for this highlighter. It's just like my perfect like neutral toned highlighter, because like while I love me some cool tones, with the orange hair, a pink highlighter can be like a little bit much, I find, because the hair is so warm. So we love her. And like I loved her before that also, but I love her even more now. I almost forgot blush. Okay, blush is hard because I use the same blushes every single year. Normally it's Benefit Dallas, but I have been leaning way more to Nars Madly this year. Nars Madly is the most boring looking blush in the entire world in the pan. Like, look at this. Nobody cares about this. But like on the cheek, if you're looking for a warm toned brown with like the slightest sheen, it's just so beautiful, especially on the cheeks. Is what I'm wearing now. It's what I wear literally every single day, and I definitely think you can use this if you're a deeper skin tone than me. Obviously not too deep, but it does build up really well. I use a pretty small amount, but I absolutely love this. It's so gorgeous. It's, again, like it doesn't have a shimmer to it, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it that makes you look alive. I'm a glowy ass bitch, so I love that. And it's just the most perfect warm toned brown, and I literally only wear warm toned brown blushes. Like other blushes can go die, I don't care. This is all I need in my life. Not just this, but warm toned blushes. Warm toned browns, that's the jam. For eyeshadows, I first and foremost have to talk about the Melt Gemini palette. I wore the shit out of this the beginning half of this year. It's just so gorgeous. These greens, these warm toned like mustardy brown colors, like I love this palette. I know some people don't like the Melt formula. It's a little bit harder pressed, like it's not soft pressed like your Anastasia formats, but I find them still super easy to blend. Again, the Melt is just like my vibe. Like how I used to feel like Kat Von D was my vibes, Melt is my vibes. Like Melt is like your edgy girl vibes. Like just like the color story in this palette is beautiful. I don't even wear greens all that much, but I wear these like army greens. Like I just feel like this palette would look good on anybody. And just like, also their shimmers are fucking gorgeous. Hi, can you talk about that green? They don't put a lot of shimmers in their palettes, but they're fucking gorgeous. And I love this palette a lot. And then very much in the same vein of this palette, I have to talk about the Raw Beauty Kristi X Pure palette. This is gorgeous. I love this. Obviously, I lean a little bit more towards this side, which is hysterical because like I'm pretty sure this side of the palette was inspired by the Gemini palette because I know it's one of Kristi's favorite palettes. And I just love the colors in here. Again, these like mustardy browns. This like, okay, this color right here is called Moo Point, is so underrated. It's like your perfect cool toned shimmery or like crease color. And then I also love the shade Cafe Disco. I obviously don't reach for the shimmery or the bright side of this palette too often, but Cafe Disco is my all over lid color. Like I literally don't touch this gold here because like, ew, I don't believe in golds. But this like, I'm running out of fingers to swatch things on. This like shimmery pink with like almost like a bluey silver duochrome, like stop. This color is so underrated. I absolutely love it. Again, it looks beautiful with Moo Point in the crease. It's just like your super basic like lid shit or like lid look, but like you still like have like that pop of like the shimmer on the lid that just makes it look so put together. This palette was just so well thought out. I originally didn't love the double-sidedness of it, and I do still wish I could see them all together in one palette, but it's super compact, easy to travel, easy to store. Who's traveling? Nobody. And the color selection in here is gorgeous. Like it's nice to have these brights when I need them. I just don't need them all that often, especially in pandemic times. I also have to give an honorable mention to the At Forest Sight palette. It's on my desk over there, so I can't get it. I absolutely love it. I also adore the Super Shock shadows she put out with it, but It just came out, so I can't include it yet, but I've been using it a lot. Last eye product is the Fenty Fly Liner. This is the best eyeliner and the hardest eyeliner to get off of your eyes. If you want a waterproof eyeliner, you need this. I literally use a cleansing balm and still can't get this off my eyes at the end of the night. It's a little bit of a pain. Like, I get off my waterproof mascara, but I can't get this off. I have to take like my nail at the end and just like gently rub it across my eyelid, which cannot be good for it, but it is what it is. It goes on super smooth, super black. It has a felt tip, which is my favorite. I find this felt tip to be a lot more flexible than other felt tips. So I think people who normally like brush tips because they're more flexible would probably like this. Like, this is a good hybrid eyeliner product that I think that a lot of like brush tip lovers and felt tip lovers would like, because it's still a felt tip, which I personally find easier to use than brush tips. But I know there's a lot of brush tip bitches out there, and this is a very, very flexible felt tip, and you can do a super fine point with it. And again, it's super black. I absolutely love it. I also like the Fenty packaging is just like on point. We have 2 hair products and then we're done. This is the year of reviving my hair. I dyed it purple and then I had to strip all the color out of it and bring it back to life. And one thing I have to give props to is the Olaplex number 3. I didn't know if it was gonna work, but truth be told, my hair felt beautiful after it. So I'm actually probably gonna use this again soon because I should. I do think that it's expensive for what it is and you have to use a lot of it, but I do think it works. And then for hair masks, I think people like me sometimes think that hair masks don't work, or like hair masks are just like just a slightly stronger conditioner. But this year I feel like hair masks work. This is the Redken Extreme Mega Mask Treatment and Care Extender for Distressed Hair. This has protein in it, and this is my favorite mask I used all year. When I use this, my hair literally feels restored. It feels so much better. They also have an All Soft Mega Mask that I have that I also like. I just like this one a little bit more. I have dry curly hair, so I feel like my hair needs protein. And this is great. It has like 2 different masks in here. One's in like a separate container inside. So you have to like push a specific spot on here to get them both out at the same time and then put them on your hair. Amazing. We love it. Look how healthy my hair is. And she's orange. Also, orange hair. Orange hair is definitely the favorite of the year. It's fire and I love it. I need to find a new orange hair dye now that Arctic Fox is canceled. If you missed my last video, maybe this will be first. I don't know. But my camera is dying, so thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below what your favorites were for 2020. Hopefully 2021 is better. Hopefully I can leave my house to wear makeup. But yeah, this is what I've been loving this year. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Also been loving fluffy brows, but I'm still trying to figure out the right fluffy brows. So a fluffy brow tutorial will be coming once I figure out the best brow gel for my brows, because they don't stay in place ever. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.